since I took my first trip up to the Adirondacks, I've been wanting to go back there. So the current time is right about 4:30. We're just finishing up packing up the car, and all the birds are starting to sing, including the common loons. That's so cool, waking up to the sound of common loons. Oh, winter wren. I hear Swainson's thrush, I think a hermit thrush. The loons, winter wren, this is so cool. Oh, what was that? I think that was red start. So, we just left the campsite. So as we were packing up the campsite, I was able to get some cool stuff. I'm right now here in red-eyed Vero, but I got Nashville warbler, winter wren, common loons, Swainson's thrush, all that kind of stuff. So we're pretty much at our first stop of the morning, which is basically completely in the middle of nowhere. This is a spot I have never been to, and I'm starting to listen. Current time is around 6 o'clock, and oh, what was that? Let's see if it'll say. That's winter wren. I'm hearing parula. The winter wren again. I just heard Nashville warbler, and I heard a magnolia warbler. And I think that might be hearing a yellow warbler too. But that winter wren's so cool. Yellow rump with a worm. Hearing some stuff singing and calling. There's mosquitoes all over this place. And I think, so here's the thing. I think this spot is a spot that my friend gave me for blackback woodpecker. But this looks like really good blackback woodpecker habitat. I'm thinking this is the blackback woodpecker spot. I didn't know if this was the blackback woodpecker spot or if this was the gray jay spot because I lost reception and I couldn't tell. Oh my. But this looks like good habitat for them. So I just went down that little path there and was looking for black-backed woodpecker and boreal chickadee, and no luck with them yet. But I'm getting my lifer black-backed woodpecker. I'm getting that. That's one of the only boreal birds that, at least around here, that would be a lifer for me, because the main ones are black-backed woodpecker, Canada jay, and boreal chickadee. And my boreal chickadee, like I'd said, I got that in New Jersey, and then Canada jay I got when I was up here back in 2016, but I've never gotten black-backed woodpecker. Another one is ruffed grouse too. So I'm always just looking around, seeing if there's going to be one that's going to cross the road or something. So not the woodpecker, but
okay,
I just, yeah, it's still the blue jay. So not the woodpecker, but I just heard and briefly saw a pileated. But that's a good sign that shows that we're in woodpecker area. Now I've got hairy woodpecker, but still no black-backed woodpecker. But I am not giving up on this bird. This bird would be a lifer for me. This is a bird that I've wanted to see for a really long time. So I am not giving up. We are gonna get black-backed woodpecker by the end of today. And I'm hoping it's at this location, because while there are a few other locations that black-backed woodpeckers are known to occur at in the Adirondacks, I don't have reception right now to figure out what those other spots are or to map myself to those spots. So this is the spot where we're looking for them right now. So we got some nice habitat here. It looks cool. I'm hearing alder flycatcher calling. There, right here. But still no black-backed woodpecker. Turkeys. Where did they just go? Oh, there they are, running through the forest. Oh, they're gobbling. So I think I figured out the right spot to look for the black-backed woodpeckers. And at this spot, I ran into a photographer, and he said that he's been getting some gray jays, also known as Canada jays, coming in close. So I'm gonna wait a few minutes, and hopefully those will come in, because that's one of my targets.
Get over here.
Got some blue jays starting to come in, but no grays just yet. Got red-breasted nuthatch calling. Swainson's thrush. So weird to hear white-throated sparrows singing during this time of year too, because usually I hear them, either early spring or in the fall when they're, in Jersey. But it's so kind of weird to hear like warblers singing and then white-throated sparrow too. So right there, I just had a palm warbler just come out right in that tree. So I was pretty sure I just saw a yellow-bellied flycatcher, and then I heard a call confirming that it was indeed a yellow-bellied flycatcher. That's a good one. They're a bird that passes through New Jersey and that area during spring and fall migration, but they're a breeder up here. That's another cool boreal breeder. I'm talking really quiet right now because black-backed woodpeckers and apparently these gray jays can be pretty skittish, so just being quiet. Right there, found a red squirrel. So I think we're kind of ending out our time at this location. I've been at this spot for about 2.5 hours now and have kind of missed all my targets here. I did get some good warblers, and I did get a yellow-bellied flycatcher, which is a rare boreal breeder, and that was one that I'm was kind of hoping to get really brief views of it that I wasn't even really sure if that's what it was, but then I heard it call. Now we're gonna try some other spots for the same things, black-backed woodpecker, gray jay, Boreal chickadee, but I don't really know where that's gonna be yet, and we also still don't have reception. One of our targets is acquired. Gray jays. Alright, so like I had said, I wasn't having much luck, so I actually left this spot and was gonna go head over to another spot, but I didn't have reception, put in the directions to get to my next stop.
At the next stop sign, take a stop left turn.
We wound up going back down the road and going to a spot where we had a little bit of reception when we were birding so that I could get directions. And then once the directions are going, for whatever reason, it seems like even if there's not great reception, they'll keep going. So but we were getting ready to do that. And as we were going back, we came across some Canada jays. There were a few adults and a few juveniles. They honestly did not give the best views. Usually Canada jays are known for being super friendly. You can hand feed them. That's what I had done the last time I had seen them.
Onto Stetson Road.
And they'll come right out and give great views. But these ones were really pretty shy, but it was still awesome to get them. And that's another, well, that's the first like actual boreal species that I've gotten so far. So we just made it to our second stop of the day, where we are once again looking for black-backed woodpecker as our #1 target here. That's Raven. So I took a little bit of time out from trying to find and photograph black-backed woodpecker because I heard some black-throated green warblers that were singing really close to the road, and I was just able to photograph one. So that's really exciting. That was my first time really like ever getting pretty decent, pretty good shots, I'd say, of black-throated green warbler. So that's very exciting. It's right in there, right behind the bush. Look, oh my gosh, baby turkeys. You know, it's so cool to be driving around up here and hearing birds like Nashville warbler all over the place, because like Nashville warbler is one of the rarer, more special warblers that comes through on migration. And it's just so cool because I can't even tell you how many I've heard up here. I've heard them pretty much every spot I've gone, and every spot I've gone, I've heard multiple. I haven't actually seen any yet, but I've heard a ton of them. That pss, 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 that call it like kind of it. The rhythm of their call is like, it's like this. Tss, 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 tss. Ooh. So going for the black-backed woodpecker, kind of our strategy is kind of the same strategy that I had last summer when I was down in Delaware looking for brown-head nuthatches, which is just drive up and down these roads and listen and look and hope for the best. Black-backed woodpeckers are definitely proving to be much harder than I was expecting them to be, but at the same time, I know nuthatches can be hard, woodpeckers can be hard, so we'll see. Found this in the road. I'm gonna try to open my hand carefully so you can see it. There, it's peeking out. That is a micro little toad. Look at how tiny that guy is. American toad. That's crazy. the search for black-backed woodpecker still continues. Red squirrel. 2 hours at this spot looking for black-backed woodpecker, and 0 black-backed woodpeckers found. I did get some other cool stuff, but these birds are proving to be really, really, really hard. We're gonna try one last spot. This is our last attempt for them, unfortunately, and then we're gonna go move on to some other things. Last attempt for black-backed woodpecker. Somebody got them here this morning. Somebody also got black-backed woodpecker this morning at the spot where I was just at. So ooh, Nashville warbler right here. So I'm looking right out here at this bog, and right there in that little puddle, that puddle looks like it's an inch deep. I just fell in up to my knees in that puddle in the bog. After all this, well, I better get a black-backed woodpecker. So some exciting events just happened. After I fell in the bog, I went back to the car to get fresh pants on and get changed out of my clothes that were soaked with the bog juices. And as I was going back to the car, we ran into this really nice birder who told us about a spot to get black-backed woodpecker where they're nesting. And I think I might actually get the black-backed woodpeckers. I didn't think I was gonna get it, but we might. It's not over yet. So we're just kind of puffing it right now, but on the ground there are all these little baby toads. I don't really have time to stop and film them, but I'm hoping there's one. There's like tons, and they're all like micro toad size, the size of the toad that I caught earlier. It's crazy. I'm trying not to step on any. Hopefully I won't. There's one. But if you watch the trail and you see any sort of movement, that's all toads. I'm sitting here waiting. At this point, I'm so desperate, I'll even take just hearing it. I just want to hear it, just like a little, like, just hear it call like once. This time I got a bigger toad. Still an American toad, but slightly bigger than those little micro ones. There he goes. I don't even know how many hours it is later, but I spent hours trying to find black-backed woodpecker. And now I'm kind of done with that. We're gonna make one last stop before we head home, and that is up Whiteface Mountain again, because it was so foggy and cloudy up there last night that you really couldn't see anything at all, and nothing was really singing except for a few winter wrens and Swainson's thrushes. So I'm gonna go back up there and try to get Bicknell's thrush again. I have seen Bicknell's thrush before back in Jersey, but only banded. But anyway, I'm gonna go try to get that. I am pretty bummed about the black-backed woodpeckers, I'm not gonna lie, because that was such a huge target for me, and that was one of the, pretty much the only bird on this trip that would be a lifer, that and ruffed grouse. And at this point, I don't really think I'm gonna get ruffed grouse, and I'm not really gonna get black-backed woodpecker either. So that's kind of disappointing, but I did get some good stuff today, and we're still not done yet, but yeah. So we're journeying up Whiteface Mountain once again today, and it's even foggier than it was yesterday. It looks like there might be some patches that might be a little bit clearer. Just got Junco and heard Swainson's thrush. This is what it looks like. See, if there was like Bicknell's right there, it wouldn't be too bad. climbing up Whiteface Mountain right now, and I was able to successfully get the Bicknell thrush. I'm hearing a bunch of them sing and call all over the place. I'm going to try to get some recordings of them, and I'm also going to try to hopefully get some pictures too, but they're not being the most cooperative. I did get very brief views of one, but yeah, it's cool to be hearing them all over. So we made it to the top of Whiteface Mountain once again, and this is what it looks like. I think it's even cloudier than it was yesterday, but at least this time I got to hear the Bicknell's thrush, which is awesome. And here's winter wren singing too. I don't know why I didn't get them yesterday, because we honestly wound up getting here so late because of our never-ending black-backed woodpecker search that were basically at the same time that we were here yesterday. So I don't really know why we missed them yesterday, but I'm very glad that we got them today. I'm still hoping that there's some opportunities for some pictures though. Nashville warbler, yellow rump, and winter wren. That kind of, it sounds to me a bit like a combination of like a Swainson's thrush and a veery. It's got like that kind of like staircase kind of like sound like a veery has, but it's not quite like that. There, it just went. There it goes. We just can't see at all. They're also calling to that rear. That's their call note. Rear. This is what it looks like driving down Whiteface Mountain right now. The current time is 11:28, and we just made it back home from the Adirondacks. 5-hour drive back, but we made it back. I'll do probably a quick little update in the morning. Right now, I'm gonna shower and then go to bed. Overall, it was a good trip. Some ups and downs. Unfortunately, missed a lot of my targets, but still wound up getting some good stuff. So I realized I never filmed an outro to this whole series, so I figured I would film a quick little outro right now. I don't really have a whole lot to say other than I actually really enjoyed camping and it wound up being a good trip. And even though I may have missed some of my targets, I will be back in the Boreal Forest soon. I don't quite know when, but I will be back soon in search of black-backed woodpecker and ruffed grouse and all kinds of other boreal birds. So thanks so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this series, and I'll see you next time.